Babes, let's have a conversation. So, chapter break. But these chapters have been insane. We've finally seen Shanks use an attack, actually see his strength, if only a little bit, which I think it is only a little bit. I think he is the strongest person we've seen so far. But today I think we're going to talk about somebody who I think is going to be right there. Right there. Right there. Now, it's tough to tell whether he's just a little better, a little worse, but he's right there. And Egghead. What's happening on Egghead? Some shit. A lot is about to go down. And even more than what we saw Garp capable of, I think Egghead is going to be more of a pressing area. Now, I've thought about it many times, and I'm like, all right, Blackbeard's ship is on the way to Egghead, and we're all debating, is Blackbeard on the way? And I'm like, no, it kind of makes more sense for him to return to Pirate Island and maybe fight Garp, maybe have a clash there. But the more I thought about that, the more I disagreed with myself, and here's why. I think Garp's got Blackbeard covered. I think Blackbeard being carried by fighting Devil Fruit users against somebody with Supreme Conqueror's Haki, somebody with advanced armament, somebody with advanced observation, I don't think he measures it up. I did talk about how I think they're going to build some hype around his crew, but now I'm starting to think different. I don't think Oda's stupid. I think he understands that most of the readers don't really care too much about Pizarro, Vasco, and even Shiryu. He is still my issue. He's still my issue, and that's kind of, weirdly enough, what I'm about to talk about, one of the biggest glaring things is Shiryu, because I still think that he's got to be something special. He's just got to be. He has to be. For Blackbeard to be a true Yonko, he's got to have somebody at least somewhat comparable. And I think what makes him so great is that he's kind of in a headspace where he is super duper strong, just kind of on his own. Similar to a Shanks, but Shanks still has his crew, and his crew only looked more buff after 1080, I believe. So let's jump into it. Kizaru. This is who I originally thought might be heading to Egghead, but I think it's the whole ship. Do I know what happened with Law? No. But I think Law might also be in Egghead right now as a prisoner, along with Pudding. And I just think Blackbeard's trying to take as much as he can right now. Now, why is Blackbeard going to Egghead? I think he realizes that some of the technology that Desire was talking about is something that he can really get his mitts on and start doing some damage. The lineage factor, I don't know how his fruits can interact with that. He's clearly able and proficient at stealing and transferring fruits to other people. So what that has to do with lineage, I'm not sure, but there's definitely going to be some technology there that Blackbeard wants his hands on, and I think he's going to get it. But more important than that, who's on Shanks' level? Jay Garcia himself. Jupiter? Am I wrong? Jupiter? Saturn, excuse me. Planets. The one with all the rings. I think Saturn is on Shanks' level. And I think that's why, because I'm starting to do the math and I'm like, dude, the fire-powered Egghead makes Marineford look like bitch shit. Like sandbox, like kids playing on the playground type of shit. Compared to what's on Egghead right now, it's insane. We're going to have 2 Yonkos. We're going to have an ex-admiral, because I think Kizaru is coming with Blackbeard. We're going to have, did I say Kizaru? My goodness, I'm getting names mixed up. Old Aokiji, also known as Kuzan, because Kizaru is also on the way. Now, here's my dream matchup. Here's my dream matchup and what I think is going to happen. We're going to see Kuzan versus Kizaru. I don't think that there's going to be any definitive finish, but I think we're all going to notice that we were right all along and that Kuzan is stronger than someone like Kizaru. I still think that Borsalino himself is a very strong individual, but I think Kuzan is kind of on a different level. And I think that Oda is fine with us continuing to believe that Kuzan is a bad guy, is a pirate, is part of Blackbeard's crew, which is bullshit. But it is what it is. So then who takes care of Jay Garcia? The answer? Nobody. Nobody. Everyone's going to try, and they're probably going to hold him off enough, but that guy's going to be a fucking problem. Blackbeard and Luffy. Now we're talking about 2 Yonko against one of the 5 elders. which I think is a matchup that makes a lot of sense. Because if these two go up against this old man, who we don't know if he has a fruit, we don't know if he has phenomenal hockey, we don't know if he's just a guy who's there. I doubt it. I really do doubt it. I think we're about to see that the 5 elders are actually about it, and Mr. Saturn himself might be the weakest of the 5. And once they see the power gap between a Yonko and the 5 elders, they're like, dude, if 3 warlords can take out 2 Yonko, but it takes 2 Yonko to take out 1 of the 5 elders, we're in for some shit. Because Shanks has just raised the playing field to something we haven't seen before, to something we don't understand, to something that has been hinted at with Gold D. Roger and young, I meant to say old, like past old, but young Whitebeard. That is a different level. That is a different level that we have not really seen in combat yet. The closest that we've seen is Luffy against Kaido. That's the closest, and there's so many variables in that fight. I'm not sure if Luffy beats Kaido straight up. With Gear 5, it's kind of impossible to say. You could say yes, but like, when does he run out? Because at the end of that fight, we're seeing him get very tired and kind of unable to do anything for a while. Similar to a lot of his other stuff, but the timing of it, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. But if we get somebody who can shut down his Devil Fruit and somebody with the firepower and durability to take whatever shots he has to give, I think that they can take him out. I think Blackbeard's mission is to go get that stuff, but I think at the end of the day, his other mission could be the bird is out of the nest, and I'm here to cause problems. Emu did not have that wanted poster of Blackbeard there for no reason. He understands the will of D and what it truly means. And if the D truly is the Dawn, then 2 Ds, even though they hate each other, hate each other, once they see a dude who has the capability, the possibility of taking out their crew, all the Vegapunks, maybe even all 50 of those PX3s, they're going to be like, dude, like, we got to take care of this guy. Like, we can squash this in a second. We got to take care of this guy. Of course, that's going to be kind of impossible to do, but I think the world is going to be surrounded by the idea of, 1, the will of D, and this already seems to be friends turned enemies, enemies turned friends type of arc. So once they understand they might have to team up, we might get fucking Zoro in there too, but they're taking that guy out. They're taking him out. There's only going to be 4 elders when this fucking arc is done, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it might even put Kaido to shame. Meanwhile, Kuzan and Kizaru are going to be battling it out, and Kizaru's like, dude, you understand, like, if they take that guy out, what he is going to do? And he's going to be like, I know. We need to get this ball rolling. Like, we need to get this thing started. I don't think Kuzan shows his true colors yet, just because I think Oda's waiting for, like, a pretty awesome reveal, but I don't know how it's gonna work because I don't think Blackbeard's that stupid. He's that strong, but he's not that stupid. They're gonna take out Jay Garcia. Imu-sama's gonna know who did it, who he knew that he had to look out for, and then that man is gonna start taking action. And not just action, that's when the ancient weapons are gonna start coming out. That's when we're gonna start to see trouble. Trouble. Because all of this is coming to a head. We're now seeing the strongest the Marines have to offer, the strongest the world, including Cross Guild, and any pirate you want to see has to offer. Shanks, every Yonko is now on the table. All of them. What are the missing pieces? The final guy. And now with him starting to be in motion, it makes sense. One more reason, because the One Piece. The One Piece is something I would understand that I don't think Emu wants anybody to put their hands on. I don't think he wants that to be discovered in the slightest. So with all of this coming to a head, Shanks on his way to the One Piece, he's ready to claim it, and Blackbeard and Luffy about to maybe be informed heavily about maybe what that means or where to go for the last load poneglyph, and maybe it's a race between the two. I think it's all coming to a head right now on Egghead. Egghead is going to be the starting to the finish line. And that's why we're getting so much setup. That's why we're seeing all this crazy shit go down. And that's why one of the birds has finally left the nest. And Jay Garcia is going to have to either show up or get out. Because there's going to be a bunch of Yonko. And I don't even know if he sweats. I don't even know. But this man is going to be an absolute problem on Egghead. And if they want their crews, if they want to continue living, if they want to pursue the will of D, this is the only way to do that. This is the only way to do that. And I think Kizaru, being a secret member of S.H.I.E.L.D., understands the will of D, and he's just a supporter of it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I'll see you guys next week for a chapter that is going to, of course, prove me right. Until then, bye.